Well, hello.
Hello again. How you doing?
I feel like we're on more bubbles, Erin.
Well, I'm feeling I'm on that vibe right now.
Yeah, I quite like the bubbles. It's quite summery, isn't it? Quite like
Light,
refreshing. Yeah, like the evenings.
fun, and welcome again to another episode of We've Got This Baby. Yes! I almost forgot. I did almost forget.
I mean, I did forget. So you did brilliantly because I totally forgot. So well done you.
Yeah, kudos
Cheers,
to me.
Erin.
Busy week.
Yeah, it's been, I mean, when it's not, to be fair.
Mm-hmm.
But I think this, what we're going to chat about today actually comes into that, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, realistically, summer holes are approaching.
Oh, so
Fast.
quickly, too quickly. I'm terrified.
I am terrified, and it does lead quite nicely into the chat today. Like the invisible list, the list of things, the duties, the tasks, the chores, the things that we just do to keep the world going round, basically.
The things that if they didn't get done, if someone didn't think about them, it would cause mayhem.
But they often get forgotten about when you're thinking about things people do.
Yes. And that's it. And I think, we have talked about the pressure of being an adult and all the things, that comes with that, having your own career, being a parent, the life choices, we've done some quite big conversations around those things, that this is actually the little things. This isn't the big things. This is the little things that actually just need to keep going. Do you know what's a great example of this? Is keeping on top of your child's toenails and fingernails.
But I am the only person in our house that cuts our kids' hands and fingernails, and it's often because they're like curly.
Yes, this is it. Like when they get to that stage, like they're evil. Those nails, they're like talons.
It's wild. But so this is a good one to start us off with then. Like, so growing up, how did you perceive chores like your parents did, or chores, tasks? Well, I don't know how you would coin it, but
yeah. I think we were quite typical gendered sort of roles in our house, sort of mum and dad. I think it was very much sort of, mum did all the shopping and did all the clothes and the food and the planning and, all the schoolwear and things like that. Whereas dad was in charge of the tech.
Right.
Dad was in charge of the cars, like all the kind of maintenance.
Okay.
So it's very I think gender stereotypical.
Yeah.
What about you? What was it?
So I vividly remember, and probably still to this day, my dad always done the hoovering. My dad done the shopping.
Really?
So my mum wrote the list. My dad done the shopping.
That's good.
My dad done the hoovering. My mum does the cleaning. My dad done the cooking on the weekends. My mum done the cooking in the week.
That's a good tag team.
Do you know what? Saying that now, that does feel like a good tag team. We have spoken about before, like what our home dynamic was like. My dad did work a lot. He was in that era of like office work, like being out and about a lot, like working late. My mum would work, come home, and then do everything else, I guess. Like looked after us, like day to day. And I guess for me, when I first had like a partner that would stay at my house, all I ever wanted to do was wash their clothes. Is that weird?
I mean, it's weird to hear, but at the same time, I think there's a logic behind that because I think that's a caring thing.
Like a nurturing thing.
Yeah.
Like, I remember, like, it'd be like, oh, I need to clean my clothes. I'll do it for you.
Yeah,
I'll do it.
It's like a mothering, like
I'll
caring
put the wash on. I'll do this. I want to hang it.
Oh, you're playing house.
That's it. Do you know, hitting the nail on the head right there, playing house.
Yeah.
I just wanted to create this environment of, stability, security, all of that sort of thing. And that came from, doing something for some acts of service, right?
Yeah. That's really interesting.
And that is a conversation.
We need to do love languages. Oh my God. Yeah, that'd be amazing.
Okay, what's yours?
Mine's definitely surprises.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, definitely gift giving, but surprise gift giving. I love surprising people.
I would say mine acts of service. So I like it when people maybe do things for me that take a pressure off me. I'm not hugely into gifts necessarily. I appreciate them, but I maybe don't appreciate them in the same way that somebody would want me to appreciate it.
I totally resonate with you, because to me, it's not about materialistic things. But I agree. Like, if someone said to me, what do you want for your birthday? I'd be like, well, can you clean my windows?
Yeah.
Can you do the bins?
And,
can you know?
And actually that made
Can you
me
do a deep clean?
Oh, a deep clean. Now you're talking sexy time. But that actually really feeds into when I'm just thinking now about wanting to do somebody's laundry for them. For me, that was a real thing. Like,
I get that.
God, I'm giving this for you.
Yeah.
But for somebody whose love language necessarily isn't that, that's just a nothing.
Yes. No, and this is where again, it's for another episode, and you know, we shouldn't be talking about it now. But that whole like jarring when people do have different like perceptions of that love language and what that is to you or what it is to the other person.
Let's hold that. I love that one.
Pin it.
What we wanted really to talk about today was, you know, like that whole like villagey sort of environment is like what means something like to you, like how we can get things from people, how that affects us, like you know, all of that stuff.
No, I definitely think so. And like one of the things that I think you and I kind of talked about, you know, not on the podcast yet, but it's that impact of constantly having that list in your head or on paper or whatever, where it's things that aren't really the big things. And who helps you with them? Who's the one that, you know, and I'm thinking, oh my God, Sophia, she's going to need socks. We're going to run out of socks soon. You know, she's growing out of this. I need to keep that in my head. I need to cut the nails. I need to, you know, oh, when's she going to have a dentist appointment? When do I need to figure that out for? Do you know what I mean? It's all those things that are in your head that you're thinking, right, have I got the birthday present for next week? Have I got how I replied to that person or that play date? Have I worked out that, you know, when you're managing, like you're literally an executive assistant to the family. When's bin day? What bin day is it? Is it recycling? Is it black bins? Which bin is it? And you're trying to do so much. It's almost like you forget some really quite essential things because you're trying to figure it all out.
Do we bring that on ourselves?
Oh, I think there's a generational thing. I think there's something where it's just kind of, we naturally have absorbed those responsibilities, you know, because that's what the mothers were always there to do. They were the ones who sort of managed the children, managed the family, managed, you know, at Christmas, who makes all the decisions around the gift in things? Who wraps the gifts? When am I going to give so-and-so their gift? When am I going to do that? You know, what are we having for the dinner? All those things are very much sort of typically, and I'm not saying everybody does it this way, but it's very much typically the woman.
And I'm laughing only because that is me to a T. But when Rory actually tries to get involved, I'm very protective.
But that's an element of control because you've got so many plates spinning. Can you imagine? You know that you know, circus act where they've got the sticks and all the plates are spinning on them. Yeah. And that one man or one woman is like running around spinning all. If someone got involved, they'd be like, get out the way, my plates.
That's exactly it. I was like, please don't try chip in on this one thing. Like it's all riding on each other. Like, don't get involved right now, please. Like literally. And that's so true. And I value that. And like, then I almost feel like, am I creating a problem by not allowing that involvement and pushing people to the side? But it's so difficult. And I think people, you know, underestimate actually the pressure of managing. And we've spoken again, like the social calendar for the family. Yeah. Like it's so hard. Like we have a shared calendar, but forever I'm being asked, what we're doing tomorrow? What we're doing next week? What party have we got? What this, what that, what this, what that. And I'm like, bleh.
Yeah. Bleh, that's definitely it.
If I said in 2 weeks we've got a party, and look, right, exactly that. And
for the audio listeners, that was in one ear and out the other.
Totally. But and then again, not to Rory's detriment, but if I said we've got a party next week, he wouldn't be thinking, what present do I need to get?
Yeah.
Whereas for me, I'm thinking a couple of months out, let me get a few boy presents, a few girl presents.
Yeah, having it all ready, the wrapping paper, you need to make sure there's cards. You've got to make sure, right, who's going to take them to the party? Does he have an outfit?
But like, do I feel... And again, like, this isn't a question I'm looking for the answer to, and it's not maybe how I feel, but like, is it being taken advantage of potentially, just being the one that's like in control all the time? Like, would I want to be the person on the other end?
Well, probably not now, because you're so used to overseeing it. But I think there sometimes is a mold that can be broken. You know, there's certain things like, for example, like Lawrence and I, a big example is wrapping gifts. So I used to always wrap the gifts, and I have always been terrible at wrapping.
Oh, and me.
I am dreadful at wrapping. And one year, I don't know what, I'll tell you what it was. It was when Sophia was born. Sophia was born in the November. So obviously my head was like, bleh, at Christmas. So I literally bought a ton of presents, and he wrapped them out of the kindness of his heart. And I was like, oh, you're quite good at that. And I made this big thing about it. And the next year he said, do you want me to wrap all the presents? I was like, yes, I do. Yes, please. And it's just become his thing now. And any gift for any kid, any party, any Christmas, any birthday, he'll quite happily do all the wrapping.
So he's taken on that role.
And he's taken on that role. And you know what? I love him more every time I see him do it, because it's that pressure off me. But I know it's getting done, and I know it's getting done properly.
And I think part of me, like, and I say it gripes me in the loosest possible way, because I would say I am a carer, I'm a doer, I'm a wanting to pleaser.
Yeah.
So actually doing things for people makes me happy. Acts of service we mentioned right at the top. Like, I am that person. So actually doing something that I think relieves somebody of other pressures makes me happy. But then on the flip side of that, it does irritate me, like the expectation that it will just get done, and the lack of maybe understanding of what it takes to get to the point of it being done.
Yeah. And is there things at the moment, I mean, not that I want to go into any marital affairs, but is there anything that you would say at the moment that you constantly get frustrated at? Or is it, do you genuinely have an understanding, like an unwritten rule that certain jobs will be someone's?
I would say we have an unwritten rule, and sometimes like roles do flex a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, one week I might do the bins, one week he might do the bins. But, you know, like Rory works a very untypical work schedule, which like does impact his ability to do certain things. He doesn't have the free time, and I say free time loosely, you know, in his day to do other things. Whereas like amongst my general working day, I might have a lunch break to pop out, go to the shop, pick up a present, right? He doesn't have that. So I do feel like I'm like in a better position to do that. But had we not have been in that position where we are now, do I think he would still feel inclined to do that? Probably not.
And I think maybe it's the awareness. So it's almost like they probably would be happy to do the action, but it's the forethinking.
Yes. If Rory is right, do you know what, you've just tipped it just right there. And Rory would say that if you ask me or tell me to do something, I'll do it.
Absolutely do it. No like questions. Absolutely.
But if I need to think about it, I probably won't. Work setting, he would 100% do it, but anything outside of that, he wouldn't. And it's the same, like, you know, I'm talking like historical now, but, you know, you've got a wash basket full of stuff. For me, I'd put the whole wash basket on. If Rory had some washing or something he wanted washed, he'd put that one thing in the washing machine to wash that one item, rather than thinking, oh, we've got a whole basket of whites, I need to go in with that white shirt.
Yeah, I totally hear you, because I think Lawrence would in some circumstances, not necessarily laundry, but other things, he'd do exactly the same. And that's again, it's that forethinking of optimizing, you know, the time, the value on the time, and understanding, right, what can we do? What do I need to? It's like I've got a load of parcels that need to be returned, and I'm thinking, right, how can I optimize it so I can take the parcels back, but I won't do it until I need to go to the shops. and I won't do that until I need to do this. So it's like I'm not doing all these thousands of trips, you know. And whereas Lawrence would just go out and do that one thing.
Yeah, and as with Rory, he'd go out back and forth 3 times in the same day to get certain jobs done, and that's just the way he is, and it's not how I operate. But
again, is that a gender thing? Is that a maternal thing?
Do I think it's how we have, like, what we've created?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I do think I create problems.
But I don't know whether problems is the word I would use. Situations, maybe.
But okay, so let's just roll back, because I actually think the love language thing is really critical in this conversation.
Okay.
Because I think I have created situations or dynamics or expectations because of what my love language is.
I can totally see that. I can actually see what you mean, because I can see the acts of service coming in as a way of showing your commitment, a way of showing the value that you hold on the relationship, but it not being like, you know.
Yeah, and we have had situations over the years where we've had arguments, and I'm like, but I'm doing this for you, and he's like, but when we nail it down, he's like, but that means nothing to me.
Yeah.
This means something to me, and you're not doing that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but I'm doing everything. He's like, you're not doing that. And that's what's important to me. And it's actually the value of importance and where you put it in the hierarchy. Yeah. Whereas, you know, as we've just touched on, like, buy me a gift. I thank you for thinking about me. It's really impractical and I wouldn't ever use it. And
it goes up on, it goes up on the shelf.
Exactly. Like, do you know what? I've got a prime example of this. When I was pregnant for my birthday, first baby, Freddie, Rory bought me a KitchenAid mixer on the premise that he thought I'd be doing baking in maternity leave. Right.
I don't know why I found that so funny.
Right.
Well, because I know Rory.
But sweet.
It's very sweet, thoughtful.
He thought that would be something. That'd be great. Like, he'd look like
Jane Asher, here we go.
Like, really, looked into it, got me this mixer.
I mean, KitchenAid, yeah.
Exactly.
That's an investment piece.
I looked at it and I thought, what the frick am I going to do with that? I think I've only ever made mashed potato in it. But you know what I mean? But that's the difference. It's somebody thinks, I'll buy you this gift, it will make you happy. Whereas I'm sitting there saying, I'm going to wash your pants and that's going to make you happy. And we're both thinking that doesn't make me happy. And then you're just a loggerheads.
That's so, and it does come down to communication, doesn't it? It's one of those things, because Lawrence and I are very similar. Because Lawrence is a gift giver, but he's a material gift giver. So I love to give surprises and experiences. I'm one that will want to surprise you with something that you come back going, that was awesome. So I want to give an experience. I always want to like surprise people and just go that extra mile so they just feel so loved and adored and everything else, and it's so special and selfishly fabulous, you know.
Yeah.
Whereas Lawrence, when he says, what do you want for your birthday? And I'm like, I want time. I don't want to have to do the dishes. I want to have to not, you know, do the laundry. I just want to be able to just scroll on my phone, or, you know, I want to be able to do this. And he can't get that concept. If I say something like, oh, do you know what? I really want a steam mop. I'd really like a steam mop.
I want a steam mop.
But it would make my life so much easier. And he's going, yeah, but that's not something for you. And I'm like, God damn it is.
Yeah.
It means that I don't have to, the cleaning of the kitchen would take a lot less time. So which means I have more time for me.
Yeah.
And he does not get that, because he wants me to say, yes, I'd like some perfume, or yes, I'd like some jewelry, or I don't know, something like a thing. Yeah. And I'm like, no, I really don't. I don't want it.
Yeah, I'm not a thing person.
And if I wanted a thing, I'll buy the thing, because I know what thing I want.
Yeah.
Don't leave it up to you guessing the thing.
And then you end up with the thing you don't want.
I don't want, but I have to use because they've wrapped it or ripped it or whatever. And I'm like, oh God. So again, it's that, like you say, it's communication, I think. And Lawrence and I have had those run-ins, I think are a polite way of putting it.
And I think for us in our like dynamic, does create some friction because we both think we are doing what the other one wants because it's what we would want.
But that's the thing as well, is I think when we're going back to this invisible list, this invisible chore list, there's something in that where, you know, Lawrence is amazing. When we get up in the morning, and because I suffer from rheumatoid arthritis, there's sometimes a morning when I'm really inflamed and I can't actually move my hands. And, you know, so Lawrence is amazing. He will take over. But I still have to be downstairs telling him what uniform to get. You know, he's certainly not going to do her hair. You know, there's certain things where he can't think, what do I need to get out? What do I need to, I couldn't have like a lie-in. You know, he would need to have me there just to kind of help him. And it's that thing where he's more than willing to do it.
Yeah, just doesn't know what to do.
Just doesn't know what he needs to do it with. So like he'll go out and pick the present up as long as I order it from Argos and he's just going to pick it up. You know, it's that whole thing of sort of that forethinking. And I keep coming back to it. It's like, but where does that come from? Why have we adopted that? Is it the acts of service thing, which I get what you're saying, but is it just an expectation on the maternal side of things?
Yeah, and I do think, and I actually don't hold them to account for it because it's generational.
Do you think that's
being men or males that were raised by women who are also in that cycle it is a level of expectation, and however much they want to do it and be a part of it. And like if I sent Rory out to buy a birthday present, I would buy, you know, no shade, for a present for somebody just in a class of people between £5 and £10, right?
Yeah, agree.
Rory would probably go out and spend £30 on a birthday present for somebody. But that's...
I'm getting Rory to buy... No.
But you know what I mean? And it's that sort of thing. Is the intention's there and he'd buy a great present, but like it's unnecessary.
The balance is off, and that's...
I'll buy colouring books and pens and a bath bomb.
Yeah, well, who doesn't love a bath bomb?
Exactly. And that's the difference.
And they're only 5, for God's sake.
And that's the difference. Whereas if I sent Rory out to buy, in my personal opinion, a birthday present, he would come back with a £30 present, which would be amazing, but not for some kid that our child doesn't like.
Yeah, or doesn't care about enough to, but because that's the thing.
It's a lot of, and that's the thing is I just feel like, you know, you just churn things out. You just churn it out. This is happening. That's happening. Socks we need. Trainers we need. Yeah. This is the happening. This is the
appointments. Like, have you done this? Have you got the insurance? Have you blah, blah, blah. And that's the kind of thing. I mean, I know that there's a lot of probably people out there who have, you know, a lot better probably balanced, you know, between the two of them. But
this also comes back to, you know, like the dynamic, like. We've spoken a lot about, you know, the work dynamic and all stuff like that. And, you know, and I understand in my family setup, you know, Rory works a disproportionate amount of hours in comparison to me. So it's only fair that I pick up on those things. And I'm not resentful for it. I'm really not, because partly I enjoy doing it and I don't mind doing it. But for me, it does still feel like a list of things I've got to keep on top of to keep things ticking over.
And it's a lot. I think it's acknowledging that it's a lot. Yeah. You know, you're not, because you're having to manage your career, you're having to manage children, and it's this additional list is something else that you're having to manage. So I think it's kind of, I guess in a way, maybe why I think we wanted to bring this to light and talk about it was because it's kind of acknowledging that this is a lot, and it is something that people don't realize that they have to do, whether it is just mums or whether it is, you know, the parents or, you know, whatever. There's a lot that actually we need to recognize that we have to do in life that doesn't quite get recognized.
And it's that level of maybe appreciation. And I think that phrase comes up a lot in terms of being appreciated or feeling appreciated or giving appreciation. Is like, we've all got our role, whether that's in society, our workplace, our family environment, whatever. We've all got a job to do, but you all still want to feel like you've been appreciated for what, like, impact that you've had and what pressure that's maybe taken off somebody else.
Yeah. And would you, so for example, I'm just, you know how I was saying about how like when I wake up in the morning, I literally can't bloody move. It's awful. Like if you say you were really under the weather, really poorly. I mean, let's go as far as norovirus or something, really quite nasty.
Not hungover?
No, I don't think we can validate that one. But, a bit of kind of V&D situation or a really heavy cold, really, fluey.
Yeah.
Would Rory step up?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, because that's the thing, isn't it? Ultimately, you want to know that someone's got your back.
Yeah.
And whether they forethink or not, it's just knowing that someone's there.
100%. And look, guaranteed, like, the kids would have no vegetables with their lunch or dinner if that was in that situation, but they would be alive.
I was going to say, they're going to be alive. That's the only thing that matters, really.
100%. Like, and, like, those situations I don't actually ever think about. Like, it would always be fine.
Yeah.
But it's an inner guilt of I haven't sorted that situation out. Or the expectation that I was gonna sort that situation out.
Yeah, that's a really interesting one, because I think that kind of snap incident where you're not able to do it and would they step up is very probably different to actually kind of, if you said, right, I'm not doing this anymore, would they be able to cope?
Yeah. And I think what you said at the beginning, like, you don't do the bins. Like, that's just the thing I don't do. Like,
I just don't want to. I don't want to do the bins. And there's certain things that Lawrence doesn't want to do because he doesn't like doing it. So, there's certain things that drive me bonkers that he does. But I'm very aware that he's told me before that he doesn't like doing it. So, at the sink, when you have stuff in the sink, you have to empty all the stuff in the sink to the bin. He doesn't like doing that. So I do it. I do the litter trays for the cat.
Yeah.
He can't stand doing that. Whereas I'd much rather do those two things than do the bins. Can't stand the bins. Honestly, they're the biggest bugbear. I just...
There's something about a bin. Oh. It just feels like a man's job.
I mean, and as much as I don't like to genderize, like, yeah, I would agree. Like, I'm like, you do the bins, Lawrence. You're stronger, you're bigger.
Yeah, it just feels like a man's job. I just don't... Yeah. There's something about it I don't like.
Yeah. Well, it's like as well with the car. Again, as much as I'm there going, I'm an independent woman. I am all about, like, looking after myself. I can do all this shit. And I'm like, Lawrence, can you go get the car valet, please?
Yeah. Could you get the MOT?
Yeah, go pick up the car. Well, no, I bloody do the MOT.
Oh, you do?
I do the MOT. I do the service. I do all the car stuff. But again, valeting. And then when he brings the car back, I'm like, they didn't do a very good job here, did they? They missed this bit. And Lawrence is like, well, you do it next time. I'm like, I do not want to.
And we have that in our house all the time. Before he does something, I come in and I'm like, He's like, well, you blooming do it next time then. And I'm like, yeah, it's fine, it will do. Like, no problems there. Do you know what? It's so hard. And, it's hard not to be resentful for it as well, but there is a level of appreciation, there is a teamwork thing, and I think it's all like variable. Like, as long as you're working as a team, whatever jobs that you have and how you like section them out is very like personal.
Yes, individual to the unique.
Yeah,
dynamic.
because I know a lot of people that would have a very different setup to us, but they also have a very different working setup to us. Maybe totally office-based, totally home-based, different hours.
Like Friday.
All things like that. And I think as long as you are working fairly, like, I do think there is always a maternal pressure when it comes to, like, the children and organisation for the children. But is that our own problem? Is that a problem we're creating? I don't know. Maybe I'm creating it.
Oh, it's such a difficult one, isn't it? Do you know who I really want to give a shout out to? The single parents who have to do it all, who can't tag team.
Do you know what? There was a point in my life where I, hands up, wrongfully, looked down on single parents.
Really?
Probably before I had children. I'm not talking about single parents. I'm young single parents.
Right, okay. So, like, the assumption that you were making on the young... Okay.
Young, like, I actually hold them in such high regard now, probably higher regard than I hold older single parents too, really, because it's blooming difficult.
Oh, it's hard.
It's so logistically, financially, emotionally, logistically, everything.
How they do it is unreal. And also, if you think about when they're younger, they've still got their own like things they want to do. So, this is where it's, because Lawrence had Maddie when he was 19. And I just think, we have talked about it, but, the fact that he was 19, I was barely making my own bed at 19. And he suddenly had this beautiful little baby who he fell in love with so quickly. But the balance between Lawrence's sort of selfish teenage, young 20s mind, of I want to do this for me. And then suddenly he was instantly a father and responsible. And he had to have that balance between the two. How do people do it? I generally don't know.
The level of respect I have now for, generally women that raise babies alone or children alone.
Yeah.
Wild, because we're sitting here talking about the unfairness, the unbalancedness or whatever of our relationships, and we're relatively comfortable.
Oh, exactly.
It's wild, and all I want to do is apologise to all those women that I judged, those girls that I judged, whatever.
Yeah,
because I have friends that were in that situation, and now a parent, maybe 10 years on from when they were parents, and I'm thinking, wow.
That's it. And if you think about the circumstances, everything's so unique. And, tag teams work. Sometimes you've even got parents who are together, but because of their jobs, one of them is in the military, so away on, missions or whatever it's called, when they're away for months on end.
Ultimately a single parent.
Ultimately, you're living as a single parent. And, the pressure that has, because you're missing your partner, but at the same time, you're having to be mother, father, everything to that child or children. And it just, as much as we are going on about the invisible list for us as women, as mums, for a single parent to have this breadth of responsibility and just, it's to me, it feels overwhelming. And I couldn't be more respectful, like you're saying, of these people who do live like that and enjoy their lives. I know that it's a hard one, but they wouldn't change it for the world.
Yeah.
And I know that it's, one of the hardest jobs, but at the same time, they're so still so present for their children.
And do you know what? Part of me does think that it gives me a purpose. It makes me feel accomplished. It gives me something. I love being able to do that.
Yes.
So as much as I feel like it's a chore and it's a list, would I want somebody else to do it for me? Maybe not.
Yeah. I mean, I would probably be the other side. I'd be like, no, totally take the list. Take the list. Someone else, just for a moment, take the list.
Just do it for me.
These people who have I don't know, the Kardashians who have a PA, a housekeeper, a house manager, all these people that just literally tell them what to do. I know they must be very intelligent and clever people to get what they do. I mean, I'm not dissing, no shade, but at the same time, someone else to be able to remind me that, oh yes, we've got the present in, we've done that. The present's on the side for you to get to the party.
If I was working to a capacity where I couldn't do that, then fine.
But you enjoy having
But yeah, and it's difficult. I think if I was at a point where I felt like I couldn't do it, then maybe I would. But maybe because I can absorb it, slightly different.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I would say that's a fair comment because, again, like you say, because it is part of what your love language is and the way that you, act out that, that desire. I guess that's where it is something. Whereas me, on the other hand, I'm like, no, good, take the list, take the chores.
And that's it. And, back appreciated or not, I can't help but want to give my service.
Yeah.
I just can't help it. It's just within me to want to do something that I feel is going to relieve you of doing something.
Oh my God, I so want to pick up on this on another episode.
Yeah,
I think it'd be really
a short one.
That'd be really good, I think. Yeah. It's really interesting, isn't it? And I just think this whole thing, I think it's great that we've talked about it. And, I think, I don't know what the listeners are thinking, but these are the things we want to talk about. These are the things that we want to kind of bring to the surface and just remind everyone that there's these things that actually that you do every day which make a huge difference to people's lives, to your life, to your family's life, to everybody's lives. And it's so important that we recognize all the things that we do.
And it's so normal to think about these things as well.
And feel overwhelmed about it.
Totally.
And, oh my God, feel resentful about it. That's okay. It's okay to be human.
Absolutely. Yeah, 1,000,000%. I think you've hit the nail on the head there. Like, totally.
Yeah. This is a good one.
That's a good one. And please, guys, don't forget, if you're enjoying the conversation, you want to have something to say or contribute, please like, comment, subscribe, review,
all of it.
Message us on socials, anything. Like, we'd love to just continue to have the conversations that you're maybe having with your friends.
Absolutely, exactly.
We've all got this. Maybe. Maybe we do, maybe we don't. We're not quite sure, but we're still figuring it out as we go. But yeah. Well, cheers.
Thanks, babe. We'll see you again next time.
Yeah.